Good morning, children. Hope you all are hale and healthy and taking very good care of yourself. Welcome to second session, Social Studies, Paper 2, Chapter 13, Industrialization and Social Change. In today's session, we are going to learn about technological development, coal and iron, cotton spinning and weaving, steam power and transportation. These are the technological development took place during industrialization. Let us start with coal and iron. As you know, children, iron and steel are vital for industrialization, and coal is essential not only to generate power but also for making steel. To melt the metal or to make this minerals into a mortal form, coal is generating power. So, coal and iron plays very vital role for making steel. As you know, England was fortunate that coal and iron ore, the staple materials required for mechanization, for making machinery, were available in large quantity. However, until the 18th century, usable iron was not easily available. Till 18th century, the requirement, the quality of iron which was needed for making machinery was not easily available at that time. So, iron is extracted as pure liquid metal from the ore by a process called smelting. I'll repeat, iron is extracted as pure liquid metal from the ore by a process called smelting. And for centuries, charcoal, how the charcoal is obtained? It's obtained from burnt timber, was used for smelting process. British iron smelters built upon a long tradition of metallurgy. Metallurgy means how to melt the iron or any material, practiced all over the world and especially in India. As you know, children, Indian iron smelters produced some of the finest quality of steel in those times. You can see these how they are obtaining the coal from the coal mines, and they are using especially the children for this work. After a long study and experimentation, a solution to the problem of steel making was developed by a family of iron masters, the Derbys. Within a half a century, three generations of this family, grandfather, father, and son, all called Abraham Derby. So, as we in the last slide we have understood that why there is a need to have a more metallurgical development, why there is a need to have a in detail experimentation or observation to get a better steel making. So it has been solved, this problem has been solved by the Abraham Darby, grandfather, father and son. All these three members were called as Abraham Darby. Now let us start. Who has generated what? First, Abraham Derby. He derived coke, and coke was derived from coal by removing the sulfur and impurities. The process was further refined by more inventions. This is a contribution of first Derby, and the second Derby developed wrought iron, which was less brittle. Brittle means easily broken, from pig iron, in which impurities would be removed from molten iron, and the rolling mill, which used steam power to roll purified iron into bars. So first Derby he has introduced the coke, and the second he has in second Derby introduced the wrought iron, by which making of procedures and all that they can remove the impurities and they can roll this iron into bars, and now it became possible to produce a large range of iron products. You can see this is first Abraham Derby, and this was the cast iron bridge which was designed by third Derby. As you know, Britain was very lucky that it had excellent coking coal and high grade iron ore available. High grade means a very good quality of iron ore was available in the same basins or even in the same seams. And these basins were also close to the ports. So when they are collecting the coal and iron, it was very easily for them to easily export to the other parts of the Europe, because it was near the ports. So there were 5 coastal coal fields which could deliver their products almost straight into ships. And as a result, it has developed the business of ship or shipping trade has increased tremendously by the Europeans. Now, the second important topic is cotton spinning and weaving. The British had always woven cloth out of wool and flax to make linen. Since the 17th century, the country had been importing bales of cotton cloth from India at high cost. As you know, India was a colony and they are just collecting the very good quality of cotton from India. And after collecting it, they have to, as East India Company's political control in parts of India was established, it began to import raw cotton along with cloth. So they started importing not only the raw cotton, even the fine cloth which was made or which is having a demand in Europe started importing. This raw cotton could be spun and woven into cloth in England itself. When they are bringing this cotton as a raw material, they are just weaving it into a very fine and it is having a very good quality and it is having a high demand of this cloth in other parts of the world. Till the early 18th century, spinning had been very slow and laborious, that a single weaver worked on the yarn produced by 10 spinners. So, as you know, children, fabric or making a weaving is a very long procedure. To make a cloth, it's a procedure. First, they have to obtain the cotton, then cotton has to be changed into the yarn or thread, then there is a need to have a coloring for it, then the weaving process will started. So, it was a very time taking and very laborious work. So this work was very slow, so they want to increase the time, they want to increase the production, and they want to reduce the span of time for the production of cloth. So this has given them chance with new technological inventions to to reduce the time gap between spinning of raw cotton into yarn or thread and weaving in the yarn into fabric. You can see these are the early machineries for the textile of cloths, and especially women and children were involved, or they are get recruited more in this because they are ready to work the low wages. These industries were heavily dependent on the work of women and children in factories. As I said, these cotton spinning and weaving, this in industries are highly recruiting only women and children because they are ready to work on the low wages, as well as it make them to work for the longer hours. So in this way, most of the industrialists, they can get or enjoy more and more profit. From the 1780s, the cotton industry symbolized British industrialization in many ways. This industry had two features which were also seen in other industries. First, raw cotton was entirely imported and a large part of the finished cloth was exported to other countries. You can see these are the spinning procedure where the employees were women or the children. Now, the another important concept is the invention of steam power. This is a early steam power, and this is James Watt. Steam power was first used in mining industries. As coal is to obtain the coal, mining is required. They need a steam, so they have just started. And as the demand for coal and metals increased, people made more efforts to obtain them from deeper mines. As because of a high demand of coal, they keep on digging and obtaining the coal from the deeper mines. And because of this obtaining, or because of they are just digging deeper and deeper, flooding in mines was a serious problem, and at that time steam engines were used to drain out the water from the mines. James Watt's 1736 to 1819 CE invented a new steam engine. This invention converted the steam engine from a mere pump into a prime mover. He made the steam engine capable of providing energy to power machines in factories. So early, when steam power was invented, they are using to drain out the water from the mines. But as demand increased, as the machinery was started using mostly in all factory production and all that, so there is a need to have a steam engine which can provide energy for easily moving of a machines. And children, not only steam power played a vital role for providing energy to the machines, even it laid foundation for the sponsorship, as well as it has added a new term in a economic, that is, with the help of a wealthy manufacturer, Matthew Bolton. He is an investor who has providing the sponsorship to the James Watt to produce a large number of steam power. And he has created, along with Matthew Boulton and James Watt, created a Suho foundry in Birmingham in 1775 CE. And the foundry, James Watt steam engines were produced in growing numbers. Then important thing is transportation. As we know that coal and iron now they are importing the raw material, exporting the cloth and all that. For this they required a very good means of transportation. Because of growing industrialization, there was an increased need to transport raw materials and manufactured products. For this, the roads were improved and the digging of canals was done in England. And for the first time, the Pakka road was introduced by McAdam. McAdam devised a method of making Pakka or macadamized roads, which can easily provide the roadways for the heavy vehicles. Canals were also initially built to transport coal to cities. This was because coal was very heavy and required in large quantities. So maybe the roadways were not safer and they need to have in a more quantity. So the cheapest mode of transportation was waterways. So number of canals were big. The first English canal, the Worsley Canal, was built by James Brindley, and it was built to carry coal from the coal deposits to Worsley near Manchester to the to that city. Thousands of kilometers of canals were built by 1830 CE and were used to transport commodities cheaply, because waterways can easily acquire huge quantity of coal or the finished products, and they can easily transport from one place to the another place in a huge quantity. You can see how a number of canals were dug for transportation. The invention of railways. The second important invention was railways. And the invention of railways took the process of industrialization to its second stage. It means now more rapidly they can even reduce the time of the transportation also. They can reduce the time as well as they can carry a huge quantity of a demanded raw material. So it make that railways took the process of industrialization to its second stage. The first railway line connected the cities of Stockton and Darlington in 1825 CE. Initially, it was just having a very less speed, and it's covering a few miles only. Initially, it was just covering the distance of 9 miles, and the speed is just 5 meters per hour. But within 20 years, trains had started moving at the speed of 30 to 50 miles an hour. And in 1830s, the use of canals revealed several problems. Now, as railways make the process of industrialization to its second stage, some or the other loopholes have been also started, or several problems has been faced while using the waterways. And some common problems are there were too many large ships made the movement on canals very slow. And another problem was if there was frost, flood, or drought in the canal, the ships could not use it. You can see this was the first railway engine, and it was considered as, railways are considered as the second stage of industrialization. Let us have a quick recap, children. Today we have learned coal and iron, how it was obtaining, and how Derby family have tried to modify it and try to bring a staple iron and started making steel from it. Another important topic we have covered, that was cotton spinning and weaving, steam power, and transportation. Now in home assignment, you have to write the names of inventors: radio, television, computer, aeroplane, printing press, stethoscope, typewriter, and microscope. You have to just write the name of the inventors. Thank you.